What's up, wherever you're watching from. It's short time already, 4 p.m. East African time. We always here on this channel and we talk about a lot of stuff related to your health, fitness, nutrition, and all that. But wherever you're streaming from, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I'll come with to today's afternoon live stream. Thank you for coming. Thanks for coming. And we have an interesting topic today to talk about. As you already see the thumbnail, I have a guest whom I'm going to be interacting with. She's straight out of UK. She's Jamaican. So she's basically here, and we are going to have a wonderful time with her. We are going to talk about intermittent fasting today. If you have your questions, please go into the live chat, drop all your questions. If you're able to share me out on YouTube, please share me out so that we can have an amazing audience. Share me on your socials so that people can come in, learn one, two, or two things. And that's how we do it. That's how we do it every Sunday. So, guys, my guest is joining in. My guest is joining in right now. Yo, what's up? What's up, Wagwan?
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy to be here.
How is UK? How is UK? What's not happening?
Boring stuff. Why am I
What?
echoing?
Let me first fix some noise here.
Oh, my hair's doing flyaway stuff as usual. Yeah, you probably have to mute stuff in the background. Or no mute, turn it down really, really low or something, because I'm echoing.
It's actually not on my PC, it's just from somewhere. I'm just fixing it.
Okay.
Okay.
You probably have to mute stuff in the background. That's me. That's me there.
Okay, just a second.
Like, ooh, I need to share you. I need to share. I didn't get to share it out. And that's the phone that I use to share. Okay.
Okay, let everybody come in. Let everybody come in.
Yep.
So I think we sorted. Any more noise?
No, it's wait.
Oh, there's something. There's something.
You probably have to mute it or turn it down really, really low. Yeah? Ah,
Just a second.
did you share us out?
Oh gosh, I'm just looking for what's making noise here.
Are you using your PC to
I don't know. I'm not playing anything in the background, but okay. Hope it's. Let me check my phone. I think it could be my phone.
could be your phone?
Yeah, I presume I fixed everything right now.
Fixed it?
Yeah,
Awesome. You
that's what
did.
I presume.
Okay,
So
what?
what's up? How's everything?
It's still there, man. It's still there.
How is UK? How is this Corona situation? How is the situation in UK right now?
It's stressful. It's stressful. I think I'm gonna do a video on how to handle stress or share how I handle my stress because it in like third world countries, it's a bit different because you have the yard space and um your kids can go and play anytime they want to. But in the UK, we're more confined if we don't have like, if you live in the city and you don't have like a backyard or a front yard.
Okay. So
Or
do you have massive debts from the hospitals?
do we have?
Massive debts from the hospitals, or now the debts have gone down?
No, it's still going up. I think we're in tier two now, wherein they're saying that we can't have like more than six people gathering inside. So we're in tier
Okay.
two because it's not getting better, it's only getting worse. So the government has put in some measures for us to try and abide by. I don't know how that's gonna work because not a lot of people are taking it seriously, but the cases are going up, especially in the area where I live. Cases are still going up. It's every day, literally every like not every day, like every minute someone's infected or something. So, but
Um,
that's the sad side of life. We have to try
yeah,
and not stress so much.
yeah. Regardless, we move. Regardless, we move.
Yes, we have to just
So,
try our best not
so
to
to
stress
able,
too much.
so to all the viewers who are streaming us, wherever they are right now, today I happen to have a guest. She's called Mum and Zan. Maybe I'm not the perfect person to introduce her. She's right here. She can introduce herself to the world. So Zan, introduce yourself to the viewers and let everyone.
Well, it's just mommy days at the moment. I do have two. It's both of us, mommy and Zan. I've convinced Zan to come on and do a workout video with me today because she's getting a bit. Eh, Workouts are boring, but I have to try and make it a bit fun for her. And with the um thing that we're gonna probably possibly have another lockdown soon. I have to start getting her back into the whole idea of working out more often because she's not gonna be traveling to school and back anymore. She's probably gonna be stuck in the house with me, which is very irritating sometimes, and
You know,
it's very hard. It's very difficult on a family because once you're confined to the house and then the government will say, "Oh, you can't go there. Oh, you can't go there," and it's a whole heap of confusion. Like they'll say, "Oh, you can go to work, but don't go to work. Or you can take the bus, but don't take the bus." There's a meme about it.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah,
So,
but we're
so who
trying our
is
best.
mommy and who is so I know your mommy. So why mommy?
Well, the idea, I did change my name because first when I started this channel, it was just all about me. It was just me, and then we had the lockdown, and I had to find something for us to do together, and so it's not so boring with us just stuck in the house, and for us to keep physical and to keep healthy because it's very difficult, especially for kids, and they get so bored and then they're like, mommy this, mommy that, mommy this, mommy that. So I have to find something to engage and something to distract her. But yeah, that's so I decided that I'm just gonna add her to my channel. And at first, she really, really liked it, but you know, kids how they get bored with stuff. So now I have to try and convince her every time to come and work out with me because you know I work out like 5 to 6 days a week. I'm
Yeah, I
on.
know you're a machine.
I just so I worked out with her today, which is sometimes difficult, so difficult because You probably want you probably want your child to do something, but they want to do something else. But then we have to strike up a compromise. So I'll say, okay, we do these moves, and then you can choose a few moves of your own, and then I just smash it together and make one video for her so we can put it on there. So hopefully
Oh,
I'll put one out maybe either tonight or tomorrow because we've just done one. That's all I
okay.
can do at the moment.
So basically, if the viewer is watching it for the first time, um um they should know Mummy and Zan as what. So I
So
mean
So,
viewers like
Mommy and Zan, sorry to cut you off. We're not tied to any sort of niche at the moment.
okay.
Um, but it's at the moment my channel is mainly about workout because I work out so often and I love workout and I love sharing my workout and I want to motivate us as a race to work out more. I know we love to eat, which is a good thing, and we love to cook, and we are great cooks. We're awesome cooks because we use some great seasoning and we put our foot in it every time we cook. But on the flip side, a lot of our foods are very unhealthy. And I can admit that I'm Jamaican and we like our foods well seasoned. And with
Okay.
well seasoned food comes the high blood pressure, the diabetes, all of that, because we do eat a lot of starch. We just eat like literally everything. And eating is a good thing.
Of
Eating is not
course
a
it is.
bad thing. Eating is a good thing, but you just have to be moderate in whatever you do. Just have to be moderate in whatever you do. Try not to overdo it, especially if we have another lockdown. It's going to be even more difficult on the kids again because they're going to be stuck at home again. And that's another thing. You need to find ways to engage, entertain, and distract them, or else you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. So, working out, it does not mean that you have to get up at a certain time. Just anytime, anytime, do something. Do a few walks, do walks, because I think like the last lockdown we were allowed to walk. So we did a lot of walks as a family. We went to the park as a family. I don't know what's gonna happen this time, and I hope that it's not so bad anymore. It's not gonna be as bad as the last time. Oh, hello, that's one of yours. Hello, Kate's crochet art is Kate. Kate is
Yeah,
there.
she's called Kate's Crochet Art. She's a Kenyan YouTuber. So thanks
Oh,
for joining us. You're welcome. We welcome Kate. She's from
hello,
Kenya.
Kate.
Yeah, 254. That's how we call them.
Oh, okay. What's 254?
I mean, it's their code. It's their code. And I'm from Uganda. It's still East African. We are 256.
Oh,
I mean, like your code. I mean, like how you see US is +1. So in Kenya it is plus.
Oh, okay. I get you now. It's
And
the area code.
yeah,
The
it's
area
area
code.
code. And
Okay.
Uganda we are two plus 256.
So how are you coping in Uganda with this pandemic? Because I just went on about mine. How are you guys coping in Uganda?
So basically, us in Uganda, I know we started really well when all other countries were struggling with coronavirus. We actually didn't have cases. It actually took us like 2 months to get even a single corona case. But what,
Wow.
yeah, but what happened later is we eased the lockdown, and because we could not cross the borders with our neighboring countries, to just keep on trade and economy moving. So we had a lot of importation of coronavirus after that by truck drivers and all that. And what happened? We now got some cases, and then they started multiplying, and we are now at around 10,000 cases, but we have like 4,000 active cases, and then about 100 deaths.
The thing is with the virus, like not all deaths are recorded and not all cases are recorded, because you have some
Exactly.
people who live alone, you have the elderly that have no contact, and a lot of the times people don't even find them like for days sometimes. So I know it's very difficult, like with us, when they first started reporting the cases, it was they thought that it was low, but that's because they weren't like adding the care homes where the elderly live. They weren't adding the deaths of those people. And then once they started adding it, it just started going up and up and up. It's like I know it's it's so frightening. It's so
And,
frightening. It's not even funny.
what's funny in my country, Uganda, is because we are still a developing country, so we don't do massive testing because testing for coronavirus is a little bit expensive. So they only test people who have shown some symptoms, maybe those cases that have been traced, the contacts of the contacts, but they don't do like a massive testing because the tests are really, really expensive on the government. So we believe that so many people in the community who actually have a lot of COVID out there, but they have not shown symptoms or they have suffered from corona and they have recovered from it without testing, without being traced. And that's what we actually presume is happening right now in my country.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's difficult everywhere. It's so difficult, and I know we talk about health, but to me, my healthy lifestyle is a way of me coping. If you understand, because with me, I started my journey last year January,
Okay.
and I've not stopped, I've not stopped, and I don't intend on stopping. But when the lockdown happened, I was happy. I was happy to know that at least I had something to rely on, something that I can do that not only benefits me but benefits my family as well. And that was one of the reasons why I just pushed head on into my workouts no matter what. But I know sometimes it's difficult for people. So sorry, it's my daughter. Yeah, you can't talk. What's up? Can we mute it? Just a minute, yeah?
Okay, it's okay. So whoever is watching us right now, basically that's Mummy and Zan, and we started by talking about the situation in UK right about now about the whole COVID situation and sharing my experience in Uganda. But we are getting into the topic. But as we always do it on this channel, those people who come first, the early birds, we always let you ask your questions from the live chat, answer your questions right away. So that's a benefit that you get from being an iPad here.
Yes, hungry.
So
Sorry, guys. That's called having a Zan. Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's
was
that's what
that was
that's what it means by being a mom.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
my
so basically,
Zan.
I was telling the viewers right here that the first few people who is coming first, I always let them ask their questions if they have
Mhm.
any related question because they are early birds. So I always reward them, but by letting them ask questions outside the topic, especially about weight loss and fitness, and I answer way before I can dive into that topic. So if you're out there watching us and you have any question about your health, your fitness, your nutrition, drop it in the chat right about now so that I can answer it before me and Zach can dive into the topic of today.
Yeah,
I
that's a good idea. You can ask questions about workouts or eating habits, weight loss, or if you're struggling with your workout journey, um, we can give you some tips. My friend here, Geros, he's an expert. I am like, I'm sort of an expert, like of experience. I'm an expert of experience.
I know.
So it's my experience. So you have a teddy there. Hello, Teddy.
Yes, Teddy, how are you? How you doing? Teddy, she's from Uganda. She's a YouTuber from UG.
Oh,
Thanks for
okay.
joining. So, Teddy, if you have any question about weight loss, fitness, and all that, besides that topic, feel free to drop it
Just give
by.
me 1 minute, Jiras. I just have to
Okay, it's fine. So just drop your questions right now so that I can answer them before we can dive into that topic, guys. So today I brought for you she's like a motivational speaker. She loves working out. She's from Jamaica but based in the UK. So please, if you have any question for her, feel free to put them right to her. I mean, if you feel that you're demotivated but you want someone to pull you out, she's the right person. She has a YouTube channel called Mummy and Zan. She posts a lot of workouts there. So feel free to go and check her out. Right after here, if you always want to follow along, she has a lot of motivational stuff, a lot of workouts that you can even follow along as a lady. And that's what we basically here to talk about. So we basically here to talk about intermittent fasting, how you can use intermittent fasting to help you lose weight, but on top of that, help you um live a healthy life. You know, intermittent fasting over the years, research has been and has found out that actually intermittent fasting can extend your lifespan. I mean, it decelerates aging or it slows down the physiology of aging, which means more years. So I mean, you want to keep good here, so want to let you know how to get started with intermittent fasting, what is it, benefits, methods of intermittent fasting, so that you as a beginner out there struggling to lose weight, struggling to lose that stubborn belly fat, so that you can chip in and learn something and see how you can implement this kind of lifestyle into your daily routine, so that you can live a healthy life. That's basically it. I mean, imagine this situation for people who are not living a healthy life, how hard it has been for them to really cope up. We've lost lives basically in this kind of situation because people out there, they used to take life for granted. They lived every day of their life, and when Corona came, it found these people they had a suppressed immunity, and just coronavirus was just sweeping them away. People who are chronic alcoholics, people who are chronic smokers, people who are having diabetes, hypertension. Coronavirus has really, really hit them so bad. But if you're in your early 20s, early 30s, mid 40s, you can learn how to live a healthy life so that by the time all these viruses come to you, they find your immunity is already very strong and can fight all the illnesses out there. So that's what we are talking about today. We are talking about intermittent fasting. What is it? Benefits of intermittent fasting. How can you get started? The patterns that you need to know, and how you can implement it in your routine. I mean, we need to extend our lifespan, and research has told us that intermittent fasting can extend your lifespan. Intermittent fasting can help you lose weight. So we want to talk about all that stuff right here on this channel. So please, if you're in a position, share us out, your audiences on your socials everywhere. Bring in more people on this channel so that they can learn one or two things, so that they can take something home. So I see. Okay, is it you as joining with Just Zan 2020?
that's my son. She
Oh, oh,
yeah, she's done. But on the back of what you just said, I have been doing intermittent fasting for I would say roundabout, well, from
okay,
January of, no, lie. Is it? Yes, January of this year, I started my intermittent fasting. I
okay,
do it on a daily basis. Um, and I can share my experience in terms of how it helps with weight loss, how it helps with just the overall mental and physical body health. With intermittent fast, first, one of my main reasons for actually trying it out is because, well, I would say that I was, because I'm on this new journey. I've been trying out a lot of different things, and I'm trying, because of my age, I'm trying to foster a culture of healthy lifestyle. So I have different areas in which I focus on because I don't want to get to a certain age and then I have diabetes in my family and stuff like that. You know, black people, they tend to eat a lot and then they have a big stomach and then it's diabetes or high blood pressure or any one of those ailments. I'm not saying that I might not get it, but I'm just saying if I do, because of my life choices, hopefully I can cope with it better.
Exactly.
Yes. Um, so one of my main reasons was because I was trying out different like healthy choices. I started working out last year and I started adding weights to my workout, and because my weights help me to maintain, yeah. But I started I cut out like milk and cheese and everything, and I thought, why not just take it a step further? So after, because I cut so many things, I just thought that mentally I could cope with doing my intermittent fasting every day, because once I have that window, there's only so much you can eat and no more because your stomach will be full. Yeah. So it allows me to eat less for one, because not because you eat healthily means that you can't overeat.
Exactly.
That's another perception that people have. You can, sorry. So, and my light went out. Give me a minute. So, so you can eat healthy and still be unhealthy, if you understand me. You can overeat those healthy
Exactly.
things. And
Yes.
that's one of the things I'm finding out at the moment, because when your body gets bored and you think, oh, because I'm working out, I can just eat certain things or I can eat that amount. You can't, especially if you're trying to foster a healthy lifestyle. You can't. And I was asking you the other day about why I can't lose belly fat and stuff like that, even though I work hard. I do know why. It's
So
because I started overeating. I
so
started
asking
overeating.
you questions. Ever since you started champion fasting, putting it in your daily routine, how has been the journey? How are the results? Any results from it so far? I mean, recognizable results from your mirror?
I um because I'm doing weights. I feel like I'm putting on weights. The Kate just asked a question. She says, are there exercises that can make you gain weight in specific places? And that's one of the things I wanted to address, even though I do my intermittent fasting. So I do weight and I do a lot of squats, especially if you want to gain weight in your glutes. If you want to get that to be whatever, I do squats with my weights, and I find that, and I do a few exercises. They're on my channel if you want to follow any workout for women, Mummy and Zan. I do have so many different types of workout, and I was listening to you talking about the different age group. I just think that health does not have an age range. It doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. Health does not have an age range. And on my channel, I do workouts for every age range. I even do a chair workout wherein if you find it difficult or you have mobility issues with your legs, you can sit down and still get a good workout. So I have that type on there as well. But back to my intermittent fasting. Oh, Dora is here. Hello, Dora.
Yeah,
So,
welcome, Dora. So talking about Dora, she's a Ghana YouTuber based in the UAE. So
okay, she's in the UA, the EU.
yeah, UEA,
What's that?
United Arab Emirates.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
See. It's weird. I am not. I am geographically and directionally challenged. Sorry, I'm guilty.
And maybe still answering Teddy's question, basically, exercise, what it does, exercise builds muscle. So there are certain exercises that you can do targeting different muscle groups. But on top
Yes.
of that, it depends on how do you want to gain weight. Because there's when you gain weight in a bad way or the bad weight, that's when you're putting on fat on your body. But then what we're talking about healthy weight is when you're adding some fresh on your what on your different parts of your body. For example, if you want to gain that ass, if you want that booty, you must do squats, you must do lunges because you're using those muscles to work out. They have to hypertrophy and of course grow bigger. So if you want to gain a big booty, you have to do your squats. You have to squat. That's it. If you want to lose belly fat, most ladies always ask me, do actual exercises that target belly fat work? I always tell them yes, because abs, they're like any other muscles. So when you train them, they grow bigger to cope up with the stress. So please, if you want, yes, you won't get those abs by just doing leg raises, sit-ups, a bunches of those, because as long as you have a high fat body percentage, you're going to build those muscles, but they'll be covered by fat. So at the end of the day, it's first removing that fat on top of your abs, and then training your abs better so that they can become bulky and look bigger, and get that good small waist. That's how it goes. But there are so many exercises that you can do that you can target different muscle groups, which will make you add weight. And talking about weight, some people, they always feel discouraged, especially when the figure on the weighing scale is not changing. You feel you're losing weight, but then the figure on the weighing scale is fixed. And the reason for that is you're doing exercise, and exercise builds muscle. And of course, muscle is heavy. So every time you work out, yes, you're losing fat. There's something we call body recomposition. You're losing fat at the same time you're building muscle. So muscle, of course, keeps replacing fat, and the figure on the weighing scale doesn't have to change. But what I always tell people to do to show that over time is always take pictures before and after. That's number one. Number two, if your interest is losing belly fat, always get that tape measure and measure your abdominal girth so that you can keep measuring maybe after every month to see if the centimeters are going down. And that's how you can know that you're losing weight. So
Hello,
instead of
Jesse. Sorry. Hello, Jesse. I like to greet people as they come in because then they don't feel upset. So, hello, Jesse. Sorry, I don't cut you.
uh,
Continue.
yeah, she's welcome. She's welcome. So basically, what I'm saying is always not focus on weighing yourself if your journey is losing weight loss, because you're going to get disappointed. You might find that the figure on the scale is not changing, and you
Yeah.
feel discouraged because you're not losing weight. So please use
I
other
don't
methods.
weigh myself. I don't weigh
Exactly.
myself. I found out like
Exactly.
it was very defeatist and very demotivating when I first started my journey because I knew that I was losing weight. I went down like two sizes in terms of clothes and everything. So I knew that I was losing weight, but because I was gaining weight in certain areas, the areas that I work out more, then it felt very demotivating when I stood on the scale. And sorry, Juris, I don't cut you, but I realized a few things as well, especially for us women. Certain times of the month,
Exactly. That's what I was going to
it,
even talk
it,
about.
yeah, it's very demotivating. Don't ever stand on the scale, especially if you deal it. If I will tell you, whenever those times of the month, I just feel so wrong. I feel like I'm not losing weight. I feel like um that what I've been doing is useless, and it's all in your head. It's all in your head. And remember, at those times of the month as well, you tend to accumulate water. So
And maybe supplementing on that, what happens is there's a hormone women who have called estrogen. So estrogen tends to come in and holds on so much water, especially during those days of the month. So most of the times, it's always about the hormones during those days of the month. But also remember, your weight can fluctuate during the day depending on how much food you ate, depending on your hydration. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how basically it is. So if you focus on the scale weight, then you're going to be disappointed. So please don't even always weigh yourself to see if you're losing weight. Just focus on other methods like your clothes, your mirror pictures before and after, and taking your abdominal growth, getting that tape measure, and you just measure yourself.
Yes. So with my intermittent fasting, it did help me out a lot, especially during the lockdown. Because during the lockdown, people tend to eat because they're bored. So, because I knew that would have been an issue, that was one of my reasons as well for doing my intermittent fasting, to prevent myself from eating, to do a lot of bored eating because I'm not even hungry. I just want to eat something even though I'm not hungry.
Yeah,
So
that's
with
because
my
it's a very
intermittent fasting, I do 16 hours per day. And I was talking to you, Juras, and you suggested that maybe I should add additional hours to it because my body's kind of getting used to it. It probably is getting used to it. However, I just eat once per day, anyways. I try my best to only eat once per day. And if I do snack, I try to have healthy snacks like maybe nuts and grains to get my proteins in. However, that period of time, you can literally feel your body changing. It's like it's processing the food that you're eating, and literally, sorry, sometimes you go to the toilet because it's like you're giving yourself that time to rest. You're giving your stomach that rest period that it needs to fully process the foods that you have eaten. And sometimes I'm really, really hungry, but I can feel my body working. I can literally feel my body like it's contracting. You can feel it sometimes, and I do love that feeling because it feels like I'm working out when I'm not working out. so so that's
yes,
one of the things that I enjoy about my intermittent fasting. It's not easy. It's not an
it's
easy
not
thing
easy.
to do. It takes a lot of mental and willpower to do it. And you can start out by doing maybe 4 hours or 8 hours, and then get, because that's when I first started out. I started out with 8 hours, and after
Okay,
and
maybe
when
about that, I mean, since we have an amazing audience here, some of them they are hearing intermittent fasting for the first time. So basically, intermittent fasting to everyone who is watching us, it's basically you are having a fasting window and an eating window. So you just don't eat just because food is available or food is everywhere. The reason we call it intermittent fasting is you're not fasting the entire 24 hours or 78 hours. There are other different types of intermittent fasting which I'm going to discuss for you. That's why it's called intermittent fasting, because it's not continuous. You're doing intermittent fasting, then you're eating. Fasting and eating. That's why it is intermittent. You understand what that was saying? But basically, Zan, she's sharing her experience, but before she shares her experience, I want you to just bring you up to speed. Actually, what happens when you fast with your body, and how are you supposed to do the fasting, so that you can bring in your experience and how many hours and how you started. So basically, let me first talk about food. When you eat food, especially sugary food, there's a hormone called insulin. So insulin is a hormone that is released by your pancreas, that is an organ in your body, in response to sugar. But it does not only respond to sugar, but also responds to proteins and fats. But of course, first sugar, then second proteins, and lastly to fats. So the response is always higher for sugar. So when you eat a carbohydrate meal, or a sugary drink, or just sugary stuff, your body responds to that by releasing this hormone insulin. The reason your body releases this hormone insulin is to make sure that the glucose or the sugar is kept in check in your blood, because too much glucose is not good for your body. Of course, too low is also not good for your body. It cannot function. So your body has to regulate it, has to keep it in a normal range. So what happens when it releases that insulin? Insulin will take or will tend to drive the excess sugar that is coming, that for you, you just eat, you don't know how much you're taking in. Your body is trying to regulate and drive that excess two ways. One, it will drive the excess sugar to glycogen. So glycogen it's like a granary, it's a storage form of sugar. So it will take it and store it in your liver as glycogen and in your muscles as glycogen. But the glycogen stores, they're kind of small. So when you have a lot of sugar coming in, then the body will tend now to store more sugar as fat. So there are two ways that your body can store sugar, as glycogen and as fat. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens is most people out there who have a lot of fat on them, it's not just because they ate a lot of fat, just because they ate a lot of sugar that was converted into fat for storage. And what's funny is your body does not know that you're fat. Your body does not know that you're obese or you're overweight. Your body is simply taking its time storing all these for future use, because your body does not know that you're going to eat supper. Your body doesn't know that you have tomorrow to eat. What if you don't eat? Which means your body is going to get destroyed and you die. But your body has to prepare for all that. And by preparing for all that is having those stores, that is glycogen and fat. So, but I've already told you that glycogen stores, they are small, they always get filled up very fast. So almost all the sugar that keeps coming, it keeps going to the fat storage. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens is over time, you're storing a lot of fat. So a lot of fat is going into your adipocytes. Those ones are stores for fat in your cells, in your liver. There's a lot of fat that will come and cover your muscles. A lot of fat will cover your liver cells. A lot of fat will cover your heart, your kidneys. And what ends up happening is you end up developing what we call insulin resistance. So there's something we call a lock and key. For example, I'm just giving this example. You have a padlock at home. You lock your house. So when you come back in the evening, you want to open and enter. You understand what I'm saying? But when you open your padlock all the time, you reach at a point when that same key that you used to open the padlock doesn't open. You understand? You find yourself putting some oils, putting lubricants here and there to make it open. So the same happens for your body. Insulin has been driving sugar for storage in your cells for years, for over 20 years. So if it's doing it all the time, it reaches at a point when it comes to open and the door does not open, the padlock keeps closed. What does that one mean? It means that the sugar will keep in blood because the insulin has become resistant now. It cannot force glucose to enter into the cells. So what happens after that, we diagnose you as someone having high glucose levels, or what we call diabetes. So that's how diabetes.
You one minute. If you plan on doing intermittent fasting and you have any underlying health issues, I would consult my doctor before starting it up.
Exactly. You have to. So what I'm trying to say is that's what happens when you eat a lot of sugary stuff, and that's why we say a lot of sugar is bad for you. However, sugar is a primary source of energy for your body. Your body burns glucose fast to provide you with the energy to work out, do all these activities. But you must make sure that you're taking it in moderation. You're taking the good one, because at the end of the day, what happens is you need sugar, you need this carbohydrate to survive, because glucose is a primary source of energy. But what happens is we don't have something like essential glucose or essential carbohydrates, but we have what we call essential fats and essential amino acids, proteins. And the reason being is that the reason they're called essential is you have to get them from diet. You can't get them from anywhere else. You have to get these good fats from diet and this good amino acid from diet. But there's nothing called like essential carbohydrates or essential glucose. And the reason being is your body is able to manufacture glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. So in times when you need glucose and you have not taken it, your body can break down fat. You understand what I'm saying? To provide glucose. Your body can break down proteins to provide you with glucose. That's why even if you spend days without eating, you can still survive just because your body is getting glucose from non-carbohydrates without you eating any single sugar. So what I'm trying to say is the reason why you are fat is because of two things. One, hyperinsulinemia. For you having to drive sugar to cells all the time, you understand, you end up developing insulin resistance, and of course, you're depositing more sugar. So basically, insulin is the hormone that tells your body store fat, store fat, store fat. You understand? And tells your body do not burn fat. You understand? So
And one thing as well, you have to understand that sometimes you might have a health issue that cause you to gain weight as well. It's not only what you eat. Sometimes you
exactly.
might, if
And
you especially yeah, so especially if you're working out and you're seeing that there's no change and you're overweight still and you're doing all of the things that you should do, I would consult my doctor. I will go to
And
my
and
or
and
a
and, and, and talking about that, I did a video particularly talking about that medical conditions that can cause weight gain. I talked about like stuff like hypothyroidism. I talked about stuff like polycystic ovarian syndrome. I talked about stuff like using medications like steroids, diabetes treatment, high pressure medications. I talked about stuff like Cushing's syndrome. I talked about stuff like stress, depression, and all that, how they can make you gain weight, necessarily you eating. I think that video, if you're here, if it's the first time here, you can go on my channel and look out for it. 10 medical conditions that can make you gain weight. So go and check out that video. So it's not about you eating. Sometimes your weight can be because of the underlying medical condition. So sometimes if you realize you're gaining weight abnormally, sometimes you need to consult your doctor, you need to go to the hospital. Or if you're trying to lose weight and you're not losing weight, then I mean you've tried everything, you're eating right, you're doing each and this, and you're not losing weight, then you need to be investigated for a probable a medical reason why you're not losing weight or why you're gaining weight. So you can look at that
so
video.
sorry, coach. So Jiris will put the links to his videos about underlying cause of gaining
Ex-
weight. He will put his
Exactly.
link, he will put a link on there about how to actually gain weight or muscles to build your muscles in different areas of the body. And also my link. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
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 in
I
the
was still kind of giving a background on about before you can see how intermittent fasting works and how it reverses um, diabetes and cause you to lose weight. So that's basically what happens. That's how you get fat. That's the mechanism for you gaining fat. What I've talked about. So for you to lose weight, you must reverse all what I've talked about. You must reverse the insulin resistance. You must make sure that you don't have the hyperinsulinemia. I mean, you must make sure that your insulin is low. So what happens is, first,
so
in terms
coach,
of
let me cut
works,
you because for those who don't understand all those beautiful words that you're using, yes, intermittent fasting in simple layman terms is giving yourself two windows. A window to rest, so your body will rest, and a window to eat. Yes, this will help you to lose weight, and because your body is actually processing the food and is processing glucose. You say glucose is processing the fat. I'm trying to learn here as
yeah.
well.
So
So
what happens? Let me try to put it in a layman's language.
yes,
What
please.
when you're doing fasting, your insulin levels go down because you don't have glucose coming in. So your body now goes into a fat burning mode because it has to
Perfect.
look for sources of glucose. That's how it's going to burn your glycogen. But because we said glycogen is a small store. It will get depleted fast, and now your body will start burning fat. So that the longer you go fasting, the more fat that you burn. So the
Yeah.
whole thing of intermittent fasting is trying to lower down your insulin levels. So the moment your insulin is down, that time that you're fasting, your body is getting glucose to use for your brain to function, your lungs, your heart, from other carbohydrate sources, which
Yeah.
includes your fat and your glycogen. So that's how
It's
intermittent fasting.
working on those packets of fat. So if you're worried about fat, it's working. It's basically you go into a fat burning deficit. Yes. So it
Yes.
goes into a fat burning deficit and it's working. And this is my experience. This is why I'm here. When I'm fasting, sometimes I feel hungry, but mind over matter. I know that I'm not really hungry because I'm gonna eat in a few hours or so. So I can literally feel myself burning fat. You will literally feel it. And it will go to a point like when you first started out, it might be difficult, especially mentally. It might be very strenuous. But over time you'll see that it's like nothing. It will come so naturally to you. You'll be like, what's happening? Why didn't I start doing this 8 years ago? What's
And
happening?
and explaining that while you get hungry, okay, I'll just put it scientifically so that you don't get confused, but this what happens. Basically, your body has two hormones that control your eating. We have the hormone that makes you get hungry, and the hormone that tells your body that you are now full, stop eating. So one of the hormones that makes you feel hungry is called ghrelin. So ghrelin is the hormone that tells you you're now hungry. Can you grab something to eat? Then leptin is the hormone that tells you, please, you have eaten enough. Can you stop eating? So what happens is these two hormones, they are conditioned according to how you treat them. That's why sometimes, and what happens like ghrelin hormone, the hunger hormone, we call it a hunger hormone, and leptin, we call it a satiety hormone, so that people, we don't confuse them with a lot of biochemistry out there. So this hunger hormone, what it basically does is it comes in waves. That's why it will shoot to the roof for those hours that you're used to eating. If you're used to eating at 1, when it clocks
Yeah,
1,
I think, yeah, that is
hormone,
so true. Like
yes, yes,
like at lunchtime I feel hungrier. It feels like I'm
exactly,
dying sometimes, like when I first started out, not now, but because it's almost like you're reconditioning your mind. Yeah. So
exactly,
it's your mind works with your body. So when after you've reconditioned your mind to expect food at a certain time, you will get over this hunger. Trust me.
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. If the hunger hormone comes and shoots the roof at 1 p.m. and you're like, hey, maybe let me do a small workout, or let me watch a movie, or let me do something, and you don't think about the hunger, the levels go down, and you
Yes,
realize that
but
you have
you're distracting
stress.
yourself. You're telling me
Exactly.
something. So you're telling yourself something else. It's just like when you're unhappy. They say you can fool yourself into thinking that you're happy because if you smile, if you sit up, and if you do the things that you do when you're happy, it's almost like fooling your mental process, fooling your body into feeling happy. So it's all. I think for intermittent fasting, if you agree with me, coach, your mental capacity to deal with certain things is very important when it
Yeah, your
comes to
willpower is really,
intermittent
really
fasting.
important. And that's how the hunger hormone works. So when now you treat your body like, I'm no longer going to start eating at 1 p.m., and your body now starts shifting a little bit, that level of hunger hormone will now start going down. So you reach 1 p.m. and you actually don't feel hungry like before, because it comes in waves depending on how you treat yourself, how you treat your mind. It's basically conditioned. On the other hand, leptin hormone is the hormone that tells you you've started eating. So please, you're not going to eat the entire day. You're not going to eat the whole house. Can you stop eating? It's basically called satiety hormones. It tells your brain to suppress appetite, and now you lose appetite for food after eating like one plate or half a plate. And certain foods affect these kind of hormones. You understand what I'm saying? That's why some people they eat such kind of these foods, certain kind of foods, and they never feel satisfied, and then you eat certain kind of foods, you feel satisfied. So these hormones are regulated by the kind of foods that you eat every day. That's what we are talking about. The kind of food that we need to eat that will make sure that they stimulate your leptin hormone or your satiety hormone to get released so that you don't overeat, don't eat a lot of calories. Those are the foods that you need to basically be eating. You don't want to eat foods that where you're going to eat the like the entire sack of food. You understand
So
what I'm saying?
empty foods like white bread, white rice, you need to
So
have them in moderation because and that was my issue. I wasn't at my beginning.
explain your issue a little bit is at the end of the day to lose weight, it all zeroes down to a caloric deficit. So whether you're eating healthy foods or unhealthy foods, it will all go down to how many calories have you eaten. If you are unable to
I was
maintain a
gonna say that portion control is so important.
exactly,
Yes.
it's not important. But you see what if you're eating a lot of protein minus carbohydrates, a lot of protein a little bit of it will stimulate this leptin or the satiety hormone. And what happens is you're going to feel full after eating something little. You understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, these foods, especially like fiber, vegetables, and fruits, they contain less calories, but they also make you full faster and keep you full for a long period of time. So it all also depends if you're eating carbohydrates, which are healthy, for example, like stuff like sweet potatoes, brown rice, white bread. They are healthy, but the problem with them, they contain a lot of calories. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, you're eating them, but
I
at the same
will
time,
agree with
a
you
lot
with
of
that
calories.
one, coach. Um, to me, like white bread and white rice, um, with my research, those are empty calories. And I know it's
Exactly.
nice, they're great, they taste good, but they're empty calories. And I just feel that, to me, in my experience, I'm not going against what you're saying. In my experience, um, it's best to cut down on those because those
Exactly.
contain
And
sugar.
allow me say this. The reason why they are bad is one, they are not basically empty calories, but there's something we call glycemic index. How fast do these foods get absorbed into your blood so that they stimulate the release of insulin? So with white rice and white bread, the problem with them is this, for example, white bread, it has been grinded over time, and the starch content of it that controls its absorption has been removed, from the processing and all that stuff. So what happens
Yes,
is
because they've taken out because they have to they wash it and they bleach it and everything. So by the
thank you.
time
So
it gets to you, it's
that's
washed and
sugar.
bleached so many times.
Yeah.
Yes,
So by the time you're taking white bread, it's simply sugar. You understand what I'm
yes,
saying?
just sugar. Yes.
Practice. So, and you find that white bread, it has a glycemic index of about 75%. That's how fast it gets absorbed from your gut and then raises your insulin. And we said the more insulin that you have, the more fat that you're storing. The more insulin that you saturating in your body, the more fat that you are storing. So that's the problem with white bread and white rice. But otherwise, the calories are not empty as long as you are able to maintain portion sizes of it a little bit so that you maintain a constant caloric deficit.
So so that's one of my experience I had. I felt like I was gaining weight, not because I weighed myself. I do not weigh myself, but I just felt, and I wasn't gaining. I just feel funny in my body because like when I cut out certain things, I have a different feeling, a different mental thing going on when I take certain things out of my diet. But when it comes out, when I get bored or do my monthlies, everything changes, and sometimes I need some comfort food. Now, I'm vegan, but I was trying to go alkaline for a while. But in Europe, it's very difficult to have an alkaline diet because it's so expensive and it's so hard to find certain foods to maintain a alkaline diet. I try to eat as alkalinic as best as I can, meaning I eat only things with seeds. Yes,
Yes, I get.
and yeah, only natural things, because things without seeds, that means they were manufactured in some
For
in
example,
some places.
and allow me to say this. You see, what the good thing with natural food, when God created natural food, so for example, if God created a toxin in natural food, He made an antidote for it. For example, when He manufactured white rice, or I mean wheat, you understand what I'm saying? He knows that
God
sugar is.
never made white rice though.
No, 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 I'm saying what I'm
I'm
trying to say
just
is
messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
what I'm saying is, God, what happens? God created these foods, but at the
Yeah,
same
he
time,
made wheat. God made wheat. We made
exactly.
white rice and white bread.
Thank you. So that's the problem. And what happens is with the natural foods that He created antidotes for them, and that is
Amen.
fiber. There's something we call an antidote. So that is starch and fiber, because He knows that this too much sugar is bad. So let me put starch out there in this food, so that when this person eats them, they are going to be the sugar
Hello,
is going to.
Liam. Sorry. Hello, Liam. We didn't
Okay.
greet you when you come in. And then there is it Izzy? I
Oh,
think
they are
there is.
welcome.
Yeah. Hello,
They are
guys.
welcome.
Thank you for coming. Yes, these
Um,
notes are good, Liam. These notes are good. Sorry. So I understand what you mean, because when God made everything, He made everything that we need naturally.
exactly.
However, man, we've come and we've changed it so that it tastes better to us. But if you had a natural diet for years, it will come naturally to you as a
Exactly.
person. But if you have lived on all those unhealthy foods for years, it's very difficult. It's very difficult for you to change. And it's not, it's changing your mindset. It's changing how you think about food, because food is medicine. And when I tell people at work that my food for me is a luxury. My food that I eat is medicine for my body. It's not
Exactly.
about enjoying what I eat. It's about using it as a medicine so that I can maintain my health. Yes. So I'm not perfect, but some of the days I feel like I wanted a bit of white rice and I have it. It's no skin off my bone, but moderation. That's what it is.
Moderation is
Don't go
very key.
over. Yeah.
And,
Don't
and,
go
and
over.
I always use this. There's something we call 80-20 rule, where 80% you're eating right and 20% you're eating your favorite comfort foods. Once in a while, you can grab that pizza, but it has to be 20%. You understand? Don't make it the reverse where you're eating 80% comfort foods and then the natural healthy foods 20%. It has to be 80% healthy foods and then 20% enjoy your favorite foods. You can go and grab a burger when you go out. When you go McDonald's, you can go and get that burger. Grab this and eat it. But it has to be 20% of your entire eating lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying? So at the
And
end
I
of that,
understand that. I understand that, coach. But I feel like some of us don't have that luxury. Like whenever, if I start eating unhealthy foods, I I go into a slump. It means
wow,
that it's so difficult for me to pull myself back out. And this was one of the reasons why I started gaining belly fat after a while. I was eating right, I was eating the right things, but my portion had went up. And after processing and analyzing everything that's going on, because I normally do that every few months, I regroup and I analyze the things that I am doing and see what's working, what should I change. Um, so for my intermittent fasting, when I started, I started from 10 in the night to 1 in the morning, 1 in the day, 16 hours. But that was only because I was stuck in the house. So it was easier for me to maintain those hours. And I reassessed it after we went back to work. I reassessed it. I said, okay, now that I'm back to work, I can maintain the 8 hours cutoff point to the 12 next day cutoff point. So it's and losing weight and having a mental, a healthy lifestyle. It's all about trial and error sometimes. And do your research. Don't jump into anything. Whatever I do, I'm a teacher. Whatever I do, I research it first and then I try it so that I know that, okay, now that I've tried it a few times, am I able to do it? Am I able to maintain it? Yes, what can I do to make it better for me as a person? And is
Exactly.
it benefiting me? Like intermittent fasting, if you have diabetes, there's no way it will be good for you. There's no way that it will be good for you. So as we're talking about intermittent fasting, and it's a very good thing if you're healthy, and it helps you to maintain your weight. It does. It helps you to eat less because you only have one window. However, there's a flip side. It can be bad if you do it the wrong way.
Which we're
Like,
going to talk about.
yeah.
And,
So
and,
I
and, and,
found
and,
out
and,
that
and talking about what works for you and what doesn't work for you. You see, we have different bodies at the end of the day. What works for you, Mommy and Zan, may not necessarily work for me. So at the end of the day, is you want to stick something to something that works for you. If intermittent fasting works for you, stick to it and learn how to make it better. If low carb works for you, stick to it and learn how to make it better. If ketogenic diet works for you, use that. As long as you can be consistent with something, you can sustain it, and you're seeing results out of it, then stick with it. You understand? Don't When you try something, don't try it because someone else tried it. Try it for your own and see if it works for you. If it
yes,
doesn't,
maybe a week
for
or
you.
so, or I know Muslims because when I started researching um fasting, I started fasting first before I found out about intermittent fasting. Yes, my light's gone. Sorry. So I started intermittent fasting after I found out actually after fasting for a while because during my research I found out that there's so many different types of fasting. So
which we are
many.
going which we are going to talk about. Actually, if you can allow me, we can start talking about the different methods of intermittent fasting. Whoever is watching us, Christy Agnes, I see you. Welcome. Mwana Wengo Production, what's up? Welcome to this LS. So let's talk about different methods of intermittent fasting. So I'm going to start with the 6-8 method of intermittent fasting. And this one, how it works is you have you have 16 hours of fasting in 24 hours, and then you have 8 hours fasting. That makes it 24 hours, I mean eating. So you have 16 hours of fasting and then 8 hours of eating. So 8 hours basically your eating window, and it's 16 hours you're basically fasting. You understand what I'm saying? So basically what happens is, how you can execute this is, you can eat from, let's say, from noon midday to 8 p.m. So the moment you stop eating and skip breakfast and eat noon of the next day, that's basically 16 hours of fasting. Because even when you are sleeping, you're basically fasting. So don't some people, they tend not to count the time that they are sleeping. So the 16-8 method, what you basically need to do is stop eating at 8 p.m. and skip your breakfast. So when the moment you skip your breakfast and eat back at noon, those are 16 hours of fasting. So within from noon up to 8 p.m., you can choose to have like two meals, two big, heavy, healthy meals. And then from 8 p.m. till noon of the next day, what you can only have, you can have zero calorie beverages, you can have water, because as long as you're taking something that has no effect on your insulin, that is water, that is caffeine, that is I mean coffee, that is green tea. As long as the beverage that you're taking does not have calories that will have an effect on insulin. So some people they think when you start fasting you can't take anything. You can take water, you can take your coffee, you can take your green tea, as long as it does not contain calories that have an effect on insulin. That's what we are all saying. I mean, you have to get thirsty, and you see what happens is a small dehydration can affect your energy. I mean, water is everything. Every living cell out there has water, so you need water for it to survive. You need to keep hydrated, and water does not contain calories. Water has no effect on your insulin, on you gaining weight. So it's okay to take your water. It's okay for you to take your coffee as long as you don't put sugar in it. It's okay for you to take your green tea. Go ahead and have it. So try 16-8 method. I feel like this is the method that's used by many people out there. Most people skip breakfast. They find it convenient for them. Skipping breakfast, you eat at noon your first meal. Maybe at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. You eat another big meal. Then after that, you fast, you go to bed. Then when you wake up in the morning, you drink like 8 ounces of water, and then you wait for the noon to come. Then those are 16 hours of fasting. You already have 8 hours when you are sleeping. You understand? You're already fasting while you're asleep. So it makes it easy for everyone. I feel everyone who wants to jump in intermittent fasting, this is a good method for them. I mean, it's convenient. It's really, really convenient for everyone out there. So
It's
that's
not
the
even convenient. I think it's a good method because when you're sleeping, your body's not working on any fat, is it? So if you're well, if you're gonna eat while you're like you'd have to get up, which is inconvenience, you're right. You'd have to get up to eat if you were
exactly.
not that time that you're sleeping. So it is convenient in a way. But another thing that I wanted to say as well, I know you're saying eat a big meal.
No, no. Let me clarify on that. What I'm saying is you want to eat food, a healthy kind of food, and you want to have maybe like two meals within maybe every after 4 hours, so that it fits in your 8 hour eating window, so that it doesn't go beyond your hour eating window. But also, if your focus is losing weight, for example, because fasting is for many reasons. Some people fast
Exactly. Yes, yes.
for losing
Because
weight, and
religion, because
exactly.
religiously we used to fast anyways.
Yeah, exactly. For religious reasons, for people, some people fast as a kind of demonstration to put their stuff out there. Some people fast for so many various reasons. But if you're fasting for weight loss, what I agree with you is you must watch your portion sizes, because you don't want to, when you sit down to eat, you don't want to compensate for the time that you're fasted. You want to eat still calories that are going to fit in your in your the calories that you're supposed to eat in a day. I mean, it doesn't make sense when you fast for 16 hours and when you sit down to eat, your maintenance calories is 2,000 calories and you eat 5,000 calories. It really does not make sense. So at the end of the day, you still have to watch portion sizes, and that's why for you, calculating how many calories your body needs to work is very, very important, so that when you sit down to eat, you don't have to compensate because you're hungry, you want what to eat for the time that we are fasting. That's not how it works.
Yeah, because I know like some people think, oh, I haven't eaten, so I can just eat anything I want and I can eat any amount I want. And that's not the case.
That's not the
If you're
case.
doing this for a reason, especially if you're doing it for weight loss, you need to ensure that you're eating the correct foods. Yes. And if you're gonna eat the unhealthy food, you need to ensure that the portions are correct. You don't want to have too much. Like if you're gonna have white rice, as you said, it's not a bad thing, but you want to minimize. You want to make it a small portion, not a big old massive plate of white rice, because then you're defeating the purpose of fasting. Then you're defeating the
And, and,
purpose
and,
of
and
you
you know what's
fasting.
funny? What's funny is, I mean, what's actually what you're supposed to do when you start eating, it's your eating window, you want to focus on eating what we call high voluminous foods, foods which are so filling so that you don't get hungry very fast. You don't want to eat a lot of sugary foods which are going to, get through your stomach very, very fast because you want to suppress your leptin or your hunger hormone ghrelin, so that you're not having those waves of hunger disturbing you and making you hate the whole journey. So you want to eat a lot of healthy, high voluminous foods that are so filling, high satiety foods, so that you don't get hungry all the time. These foods, they'll help you suppress the hunger hormones, and you're going to enjoy the whole process.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And remember, there are different types of fasting. So intermittent fasting is only one form of fasting. You
Yeah, it's
have
just one form.
yeah. So you have dry fasting that a lot of
Now, with
people
fasting,
yeah, you can fast with just fruits. You can
yeah, and,
fast
and, and
with
I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that in a minute as well.
yeah. And
And
yeah, you fast with fruits, but but some fruits are very fattening, so you have to ensure that you eat the right food. So that's another issue. So
exactly.
and you can fast with water. So those are the ones I know. Plus your intermittent fasting. Dry fasting is a good way to kind of purge your system of everything before you actually start up maybe a change of diet. And dry fasting and just water fasting, those are very good if you're changing your diet and you just want to flush your system. Those are very good. That's what my research tells me. I'm hoping that I'm
Okay.
correct.
Talking
Yeah.
about another method of fasting, there's something we call, before I even go to that, so I recommend the 16-8 method for all the beginners out there who are starting to try out intermittent fasting for the first time. But other methods, they are basically for people who have been into intermittent fasting and they are used to that process. So there's a method we call eat, stop, eat. So what happens is in a week, you have your 7 days, but then you choose to fast for 24 hours in 1 or 2 days. So you just choose, let's say you're going to fast every Monday and Thursdays. You understand what I'm saying? Then other days you're not fasting. That's why it's called eat, stop, eat. So
Yeah, I
you
know that one. Yeah.
exactly
The
you eat
that one, I think the Muslim use it during Ramadan or something like that, where they eat for a there's certain days of the week. Or
exactly.
yeah, that they fast. And then some of them just naturally do it after they know that, because fasting started with them in terms of how it just become more popular now that people know that it know of its health benefits. Yeah.
Exactly. So
But
that's why you do it.
lots of us been fasting, even myself, because I grew up as a Christian and we used to fast on like certain, I think certain cultural thing, or if we're praying about, we normally have prayer and fasting. And um we didn't do it for health's sake. We did it for or
Religious
religion.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and all the eating, my eating, it's been because of the religion that I grew up in, because we started this long time ago, this type of eating, this type of fasting, a Seventh-day Adventist. We from early days, so from a child I knew that we would fast on certain periods of time. We do prayer and fasting, and I did not eat meat. We had fish then. as I got older, I cut fish out because fish, it, it's like your body tells you sometimes when you need to cut certain things out. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I listen to my body and I listen to my palate. And um one of the reason why I cut milk and fish out because I love those. Those are those, but I cut it out because I felt like fish every time I cook it, no matter how good it tastes, it upsets my stomach. And that
Okay.
was the way that was saying to me, oh, it's either you take a break or you cut it out. And the age that I am at the moment, I thought, you know what, I've had so much, I'm just gonna cut it out. Does not mean that I might not go back to it, because I might have to, maybe for health's sake as well. But at the moment, I'm just taking a break from anything meat, anything that moves, anything that has life, except for fruits and vegetable and plant based. So that's another way of doing that. But one of the things that I spoke to you about is that I found out that because I'm plant based, sometimes you end up eating the wrong foods because you're kind of substituting the wrong foods for the things that you're missing. And I had to pull it back. I had to reassess myself and pull it back and say, okay, why have you started eating white rice again? You didn't even eat. It's not even something that you really want. You started bird eating, and then so I had to cut it back out, and then and no, but it did take a while again. That's why I don't like to eat unhealthy foods, because as soon as I start eating it, it takes a while to recondition myself to stop it again. But it's not a bad thing because, as you say, you
And,
eat
and,
sometimes and then you eat it and then you take a break and then you eat and take a break.
And,
So
and what happens, talking about unhealthy foods or what we call it of sugary stuff, and the reason why it's hard for people to abandon them is these foods, they're actually addictive. These foods,
very
and this is what happens is
like a drug.
every time you taste sugar, your body responds by sending these feel-good hormones, your dopamine, such that have a calming effect on you. You understand what I'm saying? For example, when you take sugar, I'll tell you sugar, if you look at it at a molecular level, I mean like biochemistry of it, table sugar, for example, it has two molecules. It's called a disaccharide. It has sucrose, I mean, it's called sucrose, then it contains what you call fructose and glucose. And your body needs glucose to function. So, of course, it will use the glucose. But the fructose part of it, your body does not metabolize fructose. What it does with fructose is it stores it as fat. So, when every time you take table sugar, 50% of it is not used by your body. It simply goes to fat storage. But on top of that, it also stimulates part of your brain called the limbic system. This is the part of the brain that controls your emotions. You understand? That makes you feel
Mhm.
happy. So your body responds. Your body responds all to this kind of fructose that is coming from your diet
Let
by
me let me let me plug my phone in. My phone is dying. Give me a minute. Continue talking. I'm
okay.
just gonna plug my
It's
phone in.
fine. So, everyone who's watching us, the problem with fructose, we're going to stimulate part of your brain called the limbic system out there, and then it will end up, releasing all these feel-good hormones. It wants you to feel better, and that's why every time you eat sugar, you feel like you're good, and that's why for you withdrawing from such kind of foods which are addictive, it's actually very, very hard. So basically, that's what makes sugar bad. But otherwise, your body needs glucose to function. But the source of the glucose is what matters a lot. So your body can get glucose even if you have not, can get from non-carbohydrate sources, can break down your fat, can break down your protein, I mean your proteins, your amino acids, to make glucose that your body needs to function. Your brain, your muscles, your kidneys, your liver, every cell in the world, every living cell, it needs glucose to survive. You understand? So at the end of the day, you have to have glucose, for you to survive. But the good thing is your body is able to get glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. You don't have to necessarily take in this glucose. But the problem also, the glucose from these so-called beverages, drinks, processed stuff, is it's just because of their effect on insulin, because they have undergone a lot of processing. They've had their starch, fiber taken off, so they kind of get absorbed very fast into your bloodstream, and then they cause as something we call the insulin sugar crash, where the insulin comes in, take off this whole sugar that you have taken in, and then it stores it as fat, and it tells you again that please, you're hungry, can you eat again? Hey Ross, what's up? How are you?
Oh my God, plug my phone in.
You're right on point, Ross. Welcome, welcome. My guest is still sorting herself, so just give her a minute. She's a mom, perhaps the kid is disturbing her, so she'll be coming in a few minutes. So what I was
I
saying
am
is,
still here. My phone is
yes,
just dying.
what's happening?
My phone is dying. It's gonna kick me out soon, so I have to find a way to plug it in.
Okay, okay. Keep trying, keep trying. So all what I'm saying is the reason why these beverages are bad, why these fast foods from supermarkets, wherever you are bad, it's because of the too much sugar that they have. And that too much sugar has a bad effect on your insulin or on your hormones, which makes you keep storing fat, as opposed to you when you take natural foods. Natural foods, we say that when God created a toxin, He made an antidote for it. When He created a sugarcane, for example, where sugar is manufactured, God put fiber in it. That's why when you're eating sugarcane, you have to eat something, and then you have to squeeze the juice, take in the juice, and then put the whole trash out, spit the trash. The reason for that is that kind of sugar that you're taking in, yes, it's sugar, but it's taking time to have an effect on insulin and to giving the body time to deal with it. But if you, for example, grab a Coca-Cola bottle right now and take it in, I mean, it's just empty calories. Your body doesn't even recognize it. It's just going to cause an insulin sugar crash. Your insulin will simply flush it out of your blood and go and store it in somewhere as fat, and then to tell you, please, you're hungry, can you take more? So that's why even if you take a jerrycan of Coca-Cola, it doesn't matter, you can't feel full because your body does not recognize such kind of calories. And the reason for that, it's because your body has a set point. Your body's like, it has like a thermostat. It knows that this is too much, I have to swing in and regulate it. And the moment it is too much, it will keep taking the surplus into storage. And the surplus, it has to be stored as fat most of the times. And that's what happens with sugar. But if you're taking sugar, for example, if you take a raw sweet potato and you just grab it and take it, how many can you take? I'm sure you take like one piece and you feel full. And the reason for that, it's because it has a lot of fiber in it. So which means it will keep releasing the sugar in it in like something we call like a circadian rhythm, where it keeps releasing a little bit of that sugar, which gives time for your body to deal with this sugar and use it for the right purpose. But instead of you just putting your body and you like throw sugar into your body has to deal with that sugar by simply storing that as fat. And unfortunately, what happens is, because your belly is the nearest where your liver can deposit this fat, like the adipocytes are around your belly, it's where your body finds it
Where it
very,
stores it.
especially for men, it finds it very easy to deposit all the fat on your belly.
Only for men. Come
No, I mean
on.
the biggest. If you look at the percentage, if you look at men who are gaining a lot of weight and fat, they have to eat fast before anything else. And the reason for that is simply because your liver finds it very easy to deposit that kind of fat around that area. But some ladies, they are lucky; their liver tends to deposit much of the fat around their hips. That's why some ladies, they always have a lot of fat around their glutes as opposed to the belly. The belly always coming a little bit later for you to have a sagging belly as a woman, just though you have taken in a lot of really a large amount of fat. But for men, every fat you take in, I mean every time your body thinks about storing fat, it's about your belly fat. That's why most men have a lot of abdominal fat, protruding bellies compared to actually women, and that's the reason for it. And that's why we are here on this channel. We are talking about how you can make sure that you don't gain such kind of belly fat, how you can make sure that for you already having it, you're overweight, you're obese, how can you lose it with simply doing intermittent fasting? And we are saying intermittent fasting just because it lowers your insulin levels. And the moment your insulin levels are low, you're basically in a fat burning mode. So the reason for you to do intermittent fasting is, first of all, you're going to eat less, you're going to eat fewer calories, but you're eating in a specified time, in a specified or a designated time window. And the other time, your body is basically using the food that you have taken. After getting done, it will go and start burning your fat, burning your glycogen to come and give you enough glucose to give you energy to keep your brain running, keep your lungs functioning, keep your muscles functioning. If it's a workout, your body has to burn glycogen to fuel your workouts, because when you're working out, you need energy. But where does the energy come from when you're not eating at that particular time? Your body is simply using glycogen to work, but because glycogen stores are kind of small, they have to get depleted and your body starts using fat. And that's how the whole process works. So that's how actually working out sometimes helps you lose weight. Working out exercise does not burn fat, it burns calories. Then when you burn more calories, because those calories are coming from fat, then you lose fat. But it's not like you working out directly burns fat. No, it actually burns calories, which in the long term puts in a caloric deficit. That's why for you, when you go and work out or walk in a treadmill for over 30 minutes and you burn 1,000 calories and you come back home and take 4,000 calories, it doesn't make sense. Like you've done nothing. At the end of that day, it's making sure that you're in a caloric deficit, and you have to make sure that even when you're eating in a caloric deficit, you're in a slight caloric deficit. Because if you into deep, well, for example, your maintenance calories, your body needs, let's say, 3,000 calories to function, and you're eating 1,000, what your body does, it has slowed down its metabolism so that it can catch up with the 1,000 calories. And when you have low metabolism, your energy levels are going to be affected. The amount of time you are exercising is going to be affected. Your reps are going to be affected in the gym. Basically, your metabolism is going to be affected. That's why caloric restriction is very bad. So you have to make sure, even when you're eating a deficit, it's a slight deficit so that your body can get those calories to top up or to fix that deficit by burning fat. So it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, so I totally understand that. So like even if you're working out, you still need to portion control.
Exactly.
Because I found out that I thought that, oh, I'm working out, I'm doing my intermittent fasting, I'm eating the right things. But then I started eating a lot of white rice for no good reason. And I found out that that was actually being stored in my stomach. So my belly, I started gaining belly fat again because I started eating white rice. It's not bad for you, but you need to understand your body and you need to know that your body type in terms of what you can eat and what you can't eat. Because I know some people can eat white rice and get away with it, and some people can't. And
And,
I
and,
am
and
one
I'll
of those
explain to that in
people.
a second. The reason, you see, it all goes back to genetics sometimes,
Yeah, so
because
your body type, yeah.
the reason the reason for that is there's something we call trophy, where you're thin outside but you're fat inside, and that's what is happening with most skinny people out there. They are getting insulin resistant, they are getting diabetes, and they don't have a significant amount of fat and weight on them. And the reason for that is because genetically they don't have a lot of fat adipocytes or stores that blow up when they are get filled with fat. So instead, their fat goes into what we call visceral organs. There's something we call organs, your body organs, we call visceral organs. So there's also something we call visceral fat. That's fat that is covering your liver, covering your intestines, covering your kidneys. So for them, unfortunately, for them, the body accumulates that kind of fat around their organs, which is really bad for them because you might think you're healthy, but inside you're actually not healthy.
Yeah, that's so true. Because I know of a few people who have diabetes and they're not fat. And you think, oh, what's happening? You're not fat, but you have diabetes. And that's
That's
the
what
thing.
happens.
Yeah. So I totally understand. And it's wearing. Certainly. So, as I said before, and have as we've been saying, you need to ensure that you do your research and test things out. Just don't dive into it. You need to ensure you do your research, and if you have any underlying health issues, please talk to your physician or your doctor because at the end of the day, we all are different. We all have different body types, and you need to ensure you do your research before you dive into anything. And I will keep saying that just in case anyone's getting the wrong message here. It is a good way of losing weight. It is a way of helping you to eat less. If eat less and lose weight if done correctly. If done
And,
correctly.
still talking about the eat, stop, eat, most people will, of course, find it hard spending the entire 24 hours without eating anything. And everyone who has just joined us is we're talking about eat, stop, eat, where you just 2 days of the week and fast for 24 hours. You understand? You just fast for 2 days of the week. It can be your Mondays and Thursdays, but you don't eat anything apart from zero beverage calories within the 24 hours. So that's why it's not good for beginners because you're going to pass out. I mean, your hand is going to flash into your face. You understand? You need to start with fewer hours so that your body get used to it. So that's how basically it is. So it's called eat, stop, eat. For example, you eat on Monday and decide to maybe fast on Wednesday and then eat other days. You understand? Then there's another method we call alternate day fast, where someone fasts every other day. You eat today, tomorrow you fast. Then you eat, you fast the other day. That's why it's called alternate day fast. And this one, most people find it hard. It's actually hard, I mean, which means you have to go to bed on an empty stomach for several hours. And what happens when you choose a method that you cannot sustain, that you can't be consistent with, then it's not going to work for you. So you have to make sure that whatever method you have chosen, it has to work for you. If you're always complaining about hunger all the time, if you're always saying I'm hungry, it's not gonna work for you. So you have to choose a method that is friendly to your body.
Yeah, so it's not it methods, processes, anything that you're doing, you need to understand that there's always a risk with starting anything new. Even if you're working out, there's always a risk in starting it. So, especially if I said, especially if you're unhealthy or you have any sort of issues. So, and whenever you're doing anything, ease yourself into it. Do it like in small doses until you can actually do it, or you can feel that maybe you can maintain that method or process that you're doing.
Yeah,
um
okay. A second, let me get my charger and charge this device a little bit. It's breaking out.
yeah. So, and also what we want to do is that we want to ensure that we are doing the correct thing and not doing the things that will actually hurt you, because the aim of any health choices that you're making or you're choosing to do is to make you better, is to make you healthier, to turn you, to make you a healthier person. So you don't want to overdo it or underdo it. You need to know exactly what you're going to do. All the methods that I have chosen, because I work out 5 days a week. I started out small. I started out by working out 2 days a week. Then I gradually moved it up to 3 days a week. Then I gradually moved it up to 5 days a week. With my intermittent fasting, I started off with 8 hours because I thought 4 hours would be too little for me. But the only reason I did that is because that I know that mentally I could handle it. So you need to understand what you can do mentally as well, because your mental processes is very important, not only to your intermittent fasting, but to how you eat, to how you work out. It's whatever you choose to do, it's it it's very important. So mentally, you need to understand if mentally you can handle 4 hours fasting, mentally you can handle 8 hours fasting. I know some people find it difficult to go 8 hours without having anything to eat, but you need to try things out before you can actually know if it's working for you. And another thing with intermittent fasting, as we said before, now because you're not eating for certain amount of hours, meaning that you're gonna overeat in your eating window. So in your 8 hours eating window, you have to ensure that you eat the right foods or portion control it so that you benefit from intermittent fasting. Hello, Rose, Chrissy. Okay, so all you guys, thank you. Azad, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Yes. So I was just saying that they need to ensure that they do the research and so that it's benefiting them, not hurting themselves, because you can do something because of the right reasons, but you can hurt yourself, and you don't want to do that. You want to ensure that you do it to aid in your weight loss or your healthy journey, or if you're changing to a healthy lifestyle. Because I don't have a diet, I have a healthy lifestyle. So all the choices that I make is because I'm developing a culture of a healthy lifestyle. So I work out, I do my intermediate fasting, I eat right as best as I can. But it's all because it's a lifestyle, it's a life choice. Yeah.
Exactly. And
So
talking about another method of intermittent fasting, there's something we call the warrior diet. And it's actually what we are talking about, where you basically eat raw fruits and vegetables during the daytime, and then you spend the entire night trying to feast out and eating a healthy meal that has everything. So that's why we call a warrior diet. So you spend the day, you grab some fruits, raw fruits and vegetables, and eat them. And then in the night, you prepare a healthy meal which you can eat either, maybe you can have like two small meals within a 4 hour window. So you can't still say I'm going to eat the entire night. It has to be like around the 4 hours. So you can just have one entire meal in 4 hours or two small meals in 4 hours. And that's what we
hello,
call the
Brenda. Thank you for coming.
head
Brenda.
brain. Welcome. So then there's something we call spontaneous meal skipping, where someone say, for example, you're traveling, because this one does not follow any intermittent fasting protocols. But sometimes you feel maybe you're not hungry. There's no reason why you should eat. Some people eat even when they don't feel hungry. So for this one,
That's why I call bored eating. When you're bored, you
exactly.
eat. And
So
sometimes you're not even hungry. Sometimes you're thirsty, but you think that you're hungry. So sometimes instead of eating something, drink some water.
yeah, some people confuse the difference between thirsty and hunger. They don't differentiate that. But basically, here what happens is you might wake up when you're so lazy or you're too busy to prepare breakfast yourself. Skip breakfast and prepare something for lunch, which is healthy for you. Or you can have traveled and you don't have maybe a restaurant to pick your favorite foods to eat or healthy foods. You can simply choose to have a short fast. So that's why from time to time you can skip meals, and that's also called fasting. But you don't you see what happens is our bodies, it's actually a myth that we have to eat every after a few hours. Our bodies are well trained to handle long periods of famine. Our bodies can handle that. Even if some people can even fast for 36 hours. Some people fast for 72 hours. Some people have been fasting for years, can even fast for 7 days. But they don't die because our bodies are well.
I've seen it when I was researching. There are people who fast for 40 days.
Yes, so because our bodies are well equipped to handle it, but it's simply us who think that we have to eat every after a few hours, and which is not right. The reason we are getting all these healthy problems. But talking about intermittent fasting, one of the benefits of intermittent fasting, there's something we call autophagy. Basically, when you intermittent fast, your cells get a chance to repair. I mean, for example, you've been eating all the time. Your cells in the gut, in your digestive tract, they always work 24/7 to work on the food that you eat. So every time that you don't eat, these cells they take that time to kind of repair themselves, get back again, so that they are ready for the time that you're going to eat. But on top of that, when you intermittent fast, there are some hormones. One of them we call it human growth hormone. It is released in high amounts, and what basically does, it makes your genes express in some other way. It makes it repair your entire body, and that's why they say intermittent fasting increases your lifespan because it causes expression of other genes. It causes, for example, it destroys all the used up proteins. I mean, the residual proteins on your body, your cells, and it clears them and then replace them with the new proteins during that time of intermittent fasting. So that's why you don't have to look at intermittent fasting for weight loss, but you have to look at it in a bigger picture as a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, because when I started, it wasn't for weight loss. It was more of to add to my healthy lifestyle journey. This is why I started because I had cut everything out already. So I was like, and I'm working out. So I could have maintained weight loss without adding intermittent fasting if I wanted to. But because I thought when I researched it, I found out that there's so many health benefits to actually adding intermittent fasting to your diet or to your lifestyle. And this is the reason I added it. One of the reasons I added it to my lifestyle choices. And because as a child growing up, we used to fast. We used to fast. I used to fast a
Yeah, we
lot.
used to, we used to.
Yeah. And for religion, because we believe that when we fast, you're spiritually closer to the Creator. So what we used to do, like back in the days, I used to fast. If I have like a big interview, if I have an exam, we used to fast. It's like any big event, we used to fast and pray for a long period of time because we believe we were closer. But we didn't think of it as being a health benefit then. We just thought, okay, it's to get closer to the creator.
And,
But
and you see, it explains why our grandfathers and mothers
yeah,
were living up to 100 years because These people, they didn't have supermarkets there. And McDonald's were not there by that time. These are the people who used to eat natural foods. These are the people who used to eat 3 times per day. They used to eat, they used to skip breakfast and they know they have to eat lunch and supper, especially here in Africa where I come from. They never used to have all these sugar foods out there to go and keep binging
And
on.
where I grew up, we grew up off the land. So like things that I pay so much money for now because I'm in the UK is ridiculous. And back then I thought I'm poor, so this is why I eat like this because I'm from a poor background. We thought, oh, because we're poor, this is why we have to do this. Now I find out I've come full circle. So all the things I used to actually get freely, I have to pay a lot of money to get now. So like soursop leaf and stuff that we used to pick off the trees and just boil it for tea is so expensive here. Fruits. We used to have fruit trees. We just go out and we will pick any fruit trees, any fruits of trees in the yard that we live in. We didn't even have to go anywhere else to go buy it. And I did not I did not understand how important it was at the moment, how valuable that was at that time until I became an adult. It just, I'm like, what? I did so much things for things that
And you know what's funny? Then people, we are taking these foods, we are eating healthy without the science then. I mean, I don't know, that's how God had made it. It's just because man has come in and is trying to imitate God, has tried to do a lot of stuff with technology. And that's where the problem, for example, I'll tell you one thing. Before blenders came, we are taking fruits. I mean, I don't know why you have to blend fruits now. Because by then, blenders were not there. And there's a difference between whole fruits and juice. There's a whole big difference. And some people don't
everything now is manufactured. It's like, can you not just make fruits be fruits? No, we have to make them. We have to change them up. Like grapes, I love grapes, and at first I did not know that seedless grapes were not natural. I did not know until I started doing my research. I didn't know that the oranges that we eat without seeds were natural. I didn't know the melon that we have without seeds were natural. Because everything that God made, they have seeds in it. And
yeah,
this is important for your diet. That's why they're made that way. We have to
that's
go
very
through the
important. And I always tell
probation.
people, I had a friend of mine, she was trying to lose weight and she's addicted to taking a lot of juice. I told her, if you blend 4 mangoes and and squeeze juice out of them and take that juice and as opposed to you getting those 4 mangoes and eat them raw, who feels faster, who feels full faster, or who feels full and stay long without craving for food? I told her you can drink a jug of juice, but after 2 hours you will need food. But me out there who has taken low mangoes, the way they are, with their cellulose, with the starch, I'll probably take 10 hours to ask for food. And that's the
But,
difference.
but in my research, mango in itself is fattening.
Yeah, it
But
is. And the reason it is fattening is because people have manipulated it. People they want to brand them because mangoes contain fructose. And
mangoes and bananas, I heard, is
as I've
very
told
fattening.
you, fructose is a sugar that makes sweet things sweet. That's why honey is sweet because it has fructose. That's why fruits are sweet because they have fructose. But they are fructose, like how I told you, when God created
They're
a
good ones. Yeah, they're
when
good
when
ones.
when God, when God created a toxin, He made an antidote for it. That's why He put a lot of fiber in those mangoes. That's why those ripe mangoes they have a lot of those thready stuff. That's the fiber, and that fiber affects the digestion of that very fruit. You understand? it will not have an impact on your body, because by the time it reaches your body is prepared for it to handle it very well. But when you just blend it into juice and just pour into your mouth, you're just shocking your body, and your body has to deal it by converting it and storing it as fat. That's how your body deals with fructose.
And I noticed one thing as well, like when I was a child, I could literally eat any fruits, anything, and I wouldn't gain weight.
Yeah,
And then and I know, and then once I look back and I look at the different things I used to do, like walking to school for miles every day, like climbing trees every day, like just general kid stuff that
yeah,
makes you active. So even though the foods that you're eating, as long as it's healthy, you won't be overweight because you're working it off, you're burning it off. And we didn't
exactly.
really have to think about it then. So this is what I have applied to my lifestyle as well. If I eat I love mangoes. I don't get enough over here because it's so expensive. I love mangoes and I love bananas. I love fruits in general. So I do tend to have a lot of fruits. I try not to have too much, but
For
I do
example,
have my fruits.
if I'm to
But
explain
I
more,
work out because I work out so often. I get to burn it off, and
yeah,
that's
for
yeah.
example, if I'm tell about fruits, the difference between very ripe fruits and raw fruits that are not ripe is the amount of fructose in it. That's why
Oh,
ripe mangoes, that's why ripe bananas, they are very sweet compared to some which are mid-ripe or they are raw. And the reason why I encourage people to always take those ones which are mid-ripe, like they're not ripened, that they don't look all that yellowish, is because they contain a little amount of fructose content and contain a lot of the good minerals, your good minerals, vitamins, and all that. For example,
so
when you look
which
at
one is better for you, the ripe banana or the one that is midway ripe? Which one is better for
the
you?
the one that is midway, because the one that is ripe contains a lot of fructose. That's what makes it very sweet. And we have already said that a lot of fructose is not really good for you. So that's why you do not want to take it when it is very ripe, because it is very sweet for you, but it's a lot of sugar that you're putting into your body. That's why it's very important that when you're taking these fruits, they don't have to be very ripe. You have to take them when they still have that fiber content of it.
I
You understand?
can't. That's one thing I can't do. I love my banana with brown spots on them. I love anything dark. I love my banana with brown spots. If it like has like even an inkling of green on there, I'm like, I can feel it already in the back of my throat. I can't. Maybe that's what's gonna kill me because I can't have fruits that are green. I'm sorry.
No, no,
It.
what I'm trying to say, they don't have to be green, but they also don't have to be very ripe. You understand what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Some people wait for those yellow bananas to first develop spots. You
That's
understand?
what I want.
And because it tastes sweet and people were addicted to sweetness, sometimes most people right now, they eat foods because they taste sweet, not because of the nutritional value in those foods. And that's what's very funny in this era of ours. We take food because on our taste buds, it's very good on them. They help us calm down, but we don't mind about the nutritional benefits in those foods. And that's what is happening in this world right now.
But that's the thing though. It's like it's really this journey. It's a challenging one, and I've learned so much from it, and I love it. I do. I've been trying different things, and I totally love it. Um, in terms of fruits, I've always thought that you know what, instead of having sweets, have a fruit instead. because a sweet but a fruit isn't processed, but a sweet is processed sugar already.
Yeah.
But I was always off the of the I've always thought that ripe bananas were good. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I've never thought of it as being bad. I know that it's fattening. I've always known that ripe bananas, ripe mangoes, those are all very fattening.
Yeah.
But
So
I
that's
just
that's basically it.
I
So they
think that's
don't
my
have.
bad thing for my life. I just think that's gonna be my bad thing because it's hard for me to give up. That's gonna be my bad thing.
Yeah, and this applies to all fruits. If you eat fruits, eat them as whole fruits. Do not blend them and make juice. You understand? When you're taking juice, you're simply when you're taking juice, this is what happens. When you're taking juice, you're simply taking sugar. And to make matters worse, you're adding more sugar. That's what most people here do. So you're already taking sugar, but you're adding in more sugar. You understand? That's what makes juice bad. Because when you cut your mangoes and put them in the blender, you're going to throw away the fiber and just sipping on sugar. And that sugar is what is fattening. But whole fruit as a fruit, it's never fattening. God even knows that. That's why He created it. He didn't know that you at one point you will have blenders. He didn't know that. Yeah.
But I think that's gonna be I don't juice so much. When I first started my weight loss journey, I did do like a kale smoothie with a banana in there, and I thought that was quite healthy. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
It,
whatever we said, I'm not just saying never drink juice. I'm simply saying have it once in a while. You understand?
yeah,
Don't
not
just be
continuously.
someone who's just going to be taking juice every meal. Every meal you're taking juice.
Your background is really noisy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to love you and leave you. It was nice chatting to you and I've learned so much. Um but I'm gonna have to leave now. Are you gonna stay on here for a while?
I'm actually going to leave because it's raining this side. That's why I'm putting headsets.
Oh,
That's
it's
why I'm
raining.
yeah, I'm struggling to pick it. That's why I had to put in headsets. But I just want us to widen this a little bit about intermittent fasting. Let's get if you just joined us and you're late. What we're saying that intermittent fasting is a lifestyle that has been put out there, that has been researched about, that can help you lose weight. This as a weight loss tool. It can help you boost your metabolism and can help you extend your lifespan. And we're simply saying that there are different methods of intermittent fasting, how you can implement this in lifestyle. But as someone who has never tried it before, you want to start fasting for a few hours, and then as your body gets used, you can no longer fast. You understand what I'm saying? So I say we have the 16-8 method where you are fasting for 16 hours and eating in an 8-hour window. So it's about you to make an on-time table and make sure that you're fasting for 16 hours and then you're eating in the 8 hours. But if you're saying that you can drink water, you can drink coffee, you can drink green tea as long as there are zero beverage calories. Then we are saying another method of intermittent fasting is basically eat stop eat, where you choose like 2 days of the week and fast for 24 hours each. Those are 48 hours a week of fasting. It can be your Mondays, it can be your Wednesdays, and what happens is when you fast from breakfast, that's 24 hours. When you fast from lunch to lunch, that's 24 hours. When you fast from dinner to dinner of the next day, that's already 24 hours. So if you ask yourself how to implement this, that's how it goes. Just take your dinner today at 7 p.m. and then wait for dinner the next day 7 p.m. But you're saying you can still drink water, you can drink green tea, other zero beverage calories. They are really, really very okay. Then you are saying that there is the 5-2. where you choose to have 2 days of the week where you are fasting, then other days you're eating normally. But during the 5 days, during the 2 days of the week, you're basically restricting your calories. You can say you're going to be taking like 600 calories on those 2 days each day. And then the other 5 days of the week, you're basically eating normal. You understand? Then the other method is basically alternate day fasting. Alternate day fasting is you fast every other day. You fast on Monday and eat normal on Tuesday, fast on Wednesday, and that's how it goes. You're basically skipping days. That's why it's called alternate day fasting. But I do not recommend this for any beginners out there. Otherwise, hunger is going to flash your face and you're going to hate the whole process. And then another one is the warrior diet, where you're basically eating raw fruits and vegetables during the day and then eating your healthy meal at night. You just choose to eat your meals in a 4 hour eating window where you can just have one meal or have two small meals, but it has to be within 4 hours at night. And then lastly, we have the spontaneous meal skipping, where whenever you don't feel hungry, you don't eat. You can just skip breakfast, you can choose to skip lunch, you can skip dinner, as long as you're either too busy to eat or prepare something to eat, or you're traveling, or sometimes you don't really find breakfast necessary and you just skip. That's why it's called spontaneous. You just wake up one day and you don't want to eat lunch. You simply don't feel hungry. And that's how it basically works. But you're saying that's how it helps you lose weight. But it can also extend your lifespan. I mean, it slows down the physiology of aging. It causes, intermittent fast, every time you fast, your human growth hormone is released like in 5 times, I mean like 5 times than normal, which causes a lot of expression of your genes, which causes a lot of cell repair. Your cells kind of repair themselves. You have given them time to repair. Everything needs time to repair itself. But for some of us, our bodies are ever working 24/7. They have never rested. But every time you fast, your cells rest and tend to repair themselves. The dead cells are removed away and replaced with the new cells, which means you're going to have to live longer. That's how it basically works. And we are saying the primary role of fasting when it comes to weight loss is working on your insulin. Basically, insulin, we said, it's a hormone that makes you store fat. So every time you keep it low, your body is in a fat burning mode. So when your insulin is down, then you're burning fat. But if your insulin is ever high all the time, you're in a fat storing mode. That's what fasting does. Every time you are fasting, your insulin is down, which makes your body start burning fat to provide you with the glucose that will give you energy to make you run, to make you walk your steps, to make your brain function, and all that. That's how it basically happens. That's the mechanism of action of fasting when it comes to weight loss. That's why most people have lost belly fat, because every time you're fasting, your body is trying to burn fat to fuel itself. You understand? But because some of us right now, it's like how you fuel your car and you park it at home. When you fuel your car, you're either going for a journey. But some of us, we eat food, which is our fuel, and we instead sit down and sleep. And that's why we are gaining a lot of fat. You understand? That's why we are gaining a lot of weight, because we are eating more than what our body needs. We are eating in a surplus. You understand? So you're supposed to eat what you are going to use. If you're eating something that you're not going to use, it's not worth eating. And most of us, we don't, especially those ones who don't work out, you can't burn the food that you have used, you have eaten. You've eaten because you are hungry, but you have not eaten because your body needs food. You understand? And that's how it is basically. I think that sums up for intermittent fasting for a beginner who's watching us.
So thank you so much, Geros. We need to take this to my channel. I think I need something like this on my channel. I won't go for 2 hours, but I just need it. I think my learners might benefit from it as well, and we can just promote it a bit. But I will tell you when, because I think Um, half term is coming up soon, and then we'll do it again once I'm off. Because I just need to sort some stuff out. It was nice chatting to you, and
Yeah, so to
yeah,
everyone watching us, I see guys, thanks for sticking around. It's been 2 hours and you people are still here watching us. Hope you have learned something. You have learned one, two, or two things. I mean, feel free to share this live stream after here. If you just joined in late, you can go and restart this live stream and watch it till the end. And catch you next Sunday. We always here every Sunday 4 p.m. So please endeavor to always catch us. And my host, bye. I'm just looking forward to hosting you next time. Bye. Guys,
bye,
you can
bye,
leave now.
viewers, bye bye.
Bye bye.